You're listening to the Things Podcast, brought to you by the Things Industries.
Hi, everybody. This is Alix Paultre at the Things Conference, and I'm sitting here with Marcello Majonchi. He is with Arduino, and Marcello, Arduino has a tremendous legacy in the industry. Even before the IoT was a thing, you wanted something small and intelligent to use in a quote-unquote edge application. Before edge existed, you bought an Arduino.
Indeed, absolutely. We preceded, what was before IoT, arguably. Because, at the end of the day, Arduino's mission from the very beginning, since it was, a little bit more than a, university project, was to really break down the barriers for adopting technology in the first place. To, for everybody to be able to learn and take advantage of electronics, of code, and to, what today we call IoT and the edge. And, after many, many years, to this year, we actually celebrated the 20th anniversary of the Arduino project. I think that, with the millions of developers that are on a daily basis using our products, using our software, buying our hardware, and more importantly, taking advantage of it by building amazing stuff, whether it is a project that they are doing with their kids, over the weekend, or some enterprise deployment that is, mission and business critical, right? The fact that they can do that in a way that is much easier and cost efficient as, the rest of the technology would allow is really what makes us proud.
Right. Well, I mean, and people use Arduino in so many ways. For example, I was once in New York at a NYU researcher's facility, and he was working on battery technology, and he had a room full of batteries, and there was an Arduino on each battery because he needed them to use it to run the various tests and to do the monitoring. And it would have been impossible at the time with any other technology. Now there are other small computers out there. You've got Raspberry Pi and the like, and they're not bad, but I just wanted to acknowledge that Arduino was first.
Absolutely. Arduino was first, and I always joke that, like there is an app for that, there is an Arduino in that, likely, right? And, over the years, so we've seen Arduino in satellites, we've seen Arduino in, any means of transportation, from Rolls-Royce to, small kind of, RC cars. And we have Arduino in industrial automation systems, handling, manufacturing plants for, automotive or whatever, right? And so really not only Arduino was the first, but I think that there's also another characterization that sets Arduino apart from other platforms, which is the software. Because at the end of the day, you can choose the hardware, you can choose a chipset or whatever. But really what makes the difference, what makes the technology accessible is the availability of tools that are not, exposing you to all the complexity of that technology unless you want to. And I think that is the secret sauce, if you will, right, that allowed Arduino to be so successful and so popular over the years.
So now we're here at the Things Conference. What is Arduino showing off today to enhance the marketplace?
Well, you see, of course, we are a big believer in, in an ecosystem play. And so if you look at our booth, and also if you look at our website, the message that we are trying to give is that it's not just Arduino alone as a company, but Arduino is a combination of multiple things. It's a combination of the community, millions, tens of millions of people that are actively, part members of the community, and they are contributing to it, taking advantage of it, giving back to it. It's partners on the enterprise, on the education side that are, really working with us and with our technology to build vertical solutions, educational experiences, you name it, any, type of solution that has some degree of business value, and customers, people that are adopting our technology, and they are really then coming back to us, showcasing how Arduino was able to maybe enable them to run a new type of business that would not have been possible with, the regular technology.
So now, that is an interesting aspect as well when you think of the maker community versus the engineering community, because you straddle both, right? Are there any particular groups within either the maker space or the engineering space that are particular Arduino fans?
Well, I think that we are, democratizing not only technology, but also our audience, right? And at the end of the day, what I personally realized over the last few years is that there is likely no maker community and engineering community. It's the same people, right? Because, if you think about it, the same guy that over the weekend is buying an Arduino Uno to create a drone as a kind of, project for their kids, is the same engineer that is working, in industrial automation over the week and is using Arduino to kind of, automate a manufacturing line, right? And maybe it's the father of the kid that at school will use an Arduino kit to learn electronics or physics. So, really there is one Arduino community and, different people at different times with different hats and in different kind of, forums are interacting with the community and with Arduino in the way that they find most suited to their needs. And that's kind of, the beauty.
Got it. Got it. Was there anything about what Arduino's doing or that you got here at the show that we haven't brought up yet that you want the audience to know about?
Well, I think that, there is one aspect that I'm particularly passionate about, which is, what we have been doing over the years with, Arduino Cloud and AI. Everybody knows Arduino because of the hardware and because of the software tools that you need to install, in your computer, right? However, over the last 6-7 years, we heavily invested in the next generation of tools and services. Again, with the same idea and goal of, breaking down a little bit more the access barriers to this type of technology. So we released Arduino Cloud a few years back, and we have been relentlessly and continuously updating with new capabilities and new services in order to really provide, on one side, the most accessible, I should say, developer environment on the cloud that, recently, last year, we have augmented with AI. So we introduced what we call the Arduino AI Assistant, which is effectively, I don't like the term copilot, I prefer the term coach, which is, lives in the cloud and is aware of what you are trying to do, the type of hardware that you have, the type of code that you have written, and is there to help you in being successful. So you can ask him to generate code, but more importantly, you can ask, the assistant to explain why your code is not working as you intended to. You explain, maybe you downloaded a snippet of code from Stack Overflow. You want to integrate it in your project, and you can ask it to explain what it does and how you can make it better, to how you can make it work with or just teach how to, how the code that you have means, so that you can turn an AI, generator into a teaching assistant that can really help you get more skilled. So it's not, how the type of AI that we like is not an AI that replaces humans, but it's something that augments, people and make it easier again for them to be able to access technology and to achieve what they want to achieve.
I couldn't agree with you more. I really could. I really appreciate you came and sat with us, Marcello. I really
Pleasure.
and I really enjoyed this chat. Thank you so much for
Thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure.